Hello and welcome back everybody to F1 24 My Team Career Mode. This is episode number 4 as we are gonna head to the first sprint weekend of our F1 My Team Career Mode calendar in China.
Now here's something we haven't said for a little while. Welcome along to qualifying in China. After a few years' absence from the calendar, it is great to be back here. But just who is going to put their car on pole?
Alright, so as I was saying, after an unfortunate result in Australia where our control electronics decided to just combust on us and cause us to forcefully retire us from the previous race. That means our run of points of 2 races has ended, and we are hoping to get back into a points scoring position rhythm in this race, in this F1 in this weekend. As huge expectations from our car. We had a few upgrades, if I am not wrong, on the way to this race, or was it in Australia, and then we weren't able to see a huge chunk of change because of our car being forcefully retired. To be fair, I do some stuff sometimes, and I barely keep up with the updates that I do with the car, which I should. I mean, I tried to start, showing, oh, this is what the constructors and driver championship looks like now, but then I forget one of the important aspects of creating F1 content like this is to show we have upgrades coming into this race weekend and all that stuff. So I'll try my best to keep up with that, as well as we made it into SQ2 sprint qualifying. This is different to the previous game. This is more in line with how the sprint weekends take place now, with one free practice session and sprint qualifying and normal qualifying. So yeah, pretty close to how it is in real life, if not identical. Yeah, it is identical, my bad. As it looks a bit gloomy, but as per our race engineer, there's no rain on the way. And yeah, SQ2 medium tires. So this is basically how the sprint qualifying sessions go on. Is the first 2 qualifying sessions are on a forced medium tire, so all drivers must do a run on the given medium tire and complete a lap on that. As we now cross the line, turned around the final corner and crossed the line to slot ourselves into 4th place, half a second behind Fernando Alonso, who's currently in 2nd. And yeah, that's pretty much it for that first lap of SQ2. We're gonna go once again and try to see if we can improve our time on this second run, as we drop down to 10th place. So we are right on the cusp of getting eliminated from SQ2, and that's definitely what we want. We want to at least score a point or 2 going into the races that are ahead in this race weekend. And this is going to be a very long video because of it being a sprint weekend. There's a lot to cover. So yeah, I'll be talking a lot and I'll be running out of breath a lot at the same time. And also, if you feel like if you feel like I am a bit louder, or I'm a bit too loud in your ears while I'm commentating on this video, just please let me know so I can make the necessary adjustments, as I can definitely tell that I am creeping up to the higher end of the spectrum in terms of volume. And we cross the line currently. We make it through so we make it by only a few tenths compared to Hamilton, who has been knocked out of qualifying by us. Thank you, good car, upgrades helping. we are through to SQ3, not Q3, SQ3, which is different. And this time we have our soft tire run, but again, it's only one set, so we have to make the most of it on this lap. Yeah, that's what it is. And also one thing to keep note of is that, what was I gonna say? I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, I remember now. I remember. Is that this is my first time racing on this track with a wheel. I did definitely play or race on, or like drive around on this circuit in the previous F1 installments, F1 2019 and 2020, I think. Was it available on the 2020 game? I don't remember. It was one of those 2 years, and I'm pretty sure one of them had it, if not both, where I did race on it. So I don't have that much experience on this track, so I'm not the best. Like, for example, Interlagos, I'm surprisingly good at it, as we on our singular run only managed to slot ourselves in 10th for the sprint. And yeah, we're just gonna wait this next scene now until I come back and commentate, you know.
Forget pit stops, forget fuel management. It's pedal to the metal all the way here as we get ready for today's sprint. We start a lap here at Shanghai with the long, difficult right-handers of turns 1 and 2, the first of 16 corners that make up this 3.3-mile circuit. The incredibly long back straight provides the best passing opportunity of the lap, with speeds in excess of 200 miles per hour before we head into the braking zone of turn 14. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's sprint. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position. And Lando Norris lines up alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Russell, Fernando Alonso, Sainz, Leclerc, Oscar Piastri, Perez, Stroll, the owner driver, Hamilton, Ricciardo, Tsunoda, Ocon, Gasly, Albon, Leclerc, Bottas, Hülkenberg, Magnussen, Joe, and Logan Sargent. Which of these drivers will get pole position today? We'll soon find out.
Alright, so we head straight into the formation lap of the sprint race as we line up to start on 10th on the grid. Now we're hoping for a good launch to get ourselves into the point scoring positions, and if you may or may not know, that the only point scoring positions are from 8th going up. So from 8th place 1 point, and then going up to first place gets 10 points. If I'm not wrong, was it 10 points? I believe it was 10 points. I'm not so sure. But yeah, the goal is to overtake Sergio Perez off the line. But yeah, history tells me that we will not be able to get a good launch off the line, as we have been struggling with that in this year's game, as we get a purple parking. I think that's the first time we achieved that this year, as we are waiting for the grid to fully form up, as we have 5 red lights for the Chinese sprint. Verstappen for pole position, it's lights out and away we go. Verstappen gets a very good start off the line as he heads his way into turn 1 ahead of George Russell, who got the jump on Lando Norris, who makes his way up into 2nd place, as we get a poor start as I predicted, and momentarily drop down behind Lewis Hamilton, who is still fighting with us. We are side by side now going into turn 6, I believe, as we are still, we even drop behind Yuki Tsunoda, who manages to overtake us. He has the soft tires on, which makes sense for him. He has the grippier tires, and that gives him the overall advantage earlier in this sprint race, and we're gonna keep fighting with Tsunoda as and that's his teammate Ricciardo, who's fighting with Gasly right behind us in 13th place, as Piastri is looking to make a move on Charles Leclerc and gets that move done. Very nicely done. Now going around the outside onto the long back straight ahead of the Ferrari of Leclerc, as we are now gonna try and make a move onto Yuki Tsunoda going down this long straight. A huge opportunity entering that hairpin turn, as we make a move going down the inside and take 11th place once again. A poor start for us on this first lap, as we have a lot of work ahead of us to get back into the top 10 at least for this race. And now you might be wondering why I'm a bit low energy right now. I just returned from uni, as we are now going to look for a move around the outside of Lewis Hamilton, which turns into the inside line. That was a pretty cheeky move from us over there, and we get back up into 10th place, using up a little bit of the battery to build a gap on Hamilton, who is now 8 tenths behind us by the time we exit. By the time we end our second lap, and we're going to try that move we did on Hamilton the previous lap on Lance Stroll, but it doesn't seem to work, as we didn't have the necessary grip to send it around the outside, and we are gonna stay tucked up behind Lance Stroll. Oh my god, that's a lot of talking, as once again now back on the long straight, we have DRS on Lance Stroll, who is currently 6 tenths ahead of us, but he has DRS as well, which would make it harder for us to try and make a move, but we're gonna go for it anyway, as we make a move down the inside of the hairpin turn, as we get a small snapper oversteer, but we manage to maintain our position as we make our way up into 9th place. And Stroll's gonna have another look, but it just doesn't work out for him, as now lap 4, Lance Stroll, Charles Leclerc, who was ahead of us in 8th place, is ahead of us by 1.7 seconds, but thanks to that snap of oversteer, Stroll gets closer to us, and with DRS he's gonna manage to get alongside us, as we are gonna use our battery to defend this into the final, it is the penultimate corner on this track, as he's gonna take it all the way to turn 1 with the second dose of DRS going down the pit straight. He is now on our outside as he makes the move, and we make contact over there. I think that was with Hamilton, who is now in this fight with Tsunoda, who's currently behind him, but we make this hard for Lance Stroll, as we are now fighting it all the way. He still manages to stay ahead of us, but we are gonna stay resilient, fight this position as we once again try to move around the outside, and this time we get a good traction. He gets good traction as well, as we are now still on the inside line, and we're gonna make it back up into 9th place. Lap 5 this currently, and if you look at the minimap, Verstappen is a long way ahead of that McLaren, who's in second. I believe it's Lando Norris, as I recall Piastri being in the fight for, I don't know, 5th, in the fight with Russell and Perez between 5th, 6th and 7th place. And once again Stroll's gonna have another go at us, possibly down the straight, as he has DRS. That fight really slowed us down and built a gap between ourselves and the point scoring positions, which is a bit unfortunate for us, as we're not gonna have much of a chance to score any points, but we're gonna keep racing. As once again a bit of oversteer as we exit the hairpin turn after the long straight. And once again, Lance Stroll makes his way up into 9th place, but we're going to fight it with DRS once again. Now going into turn 1, we're going to try to make a move around the outside, just like we did on Lewis Hamilton. And this time the move sticks, and it works for us this time, as we had the necessary grip this time with the help of the medium tires, which as everyone basically is on. I mean, some people opted to go for the soft tires, which also makes sense. It's not really a long race, as we turn our attention to Verstappen and skip straight to the final lap of this race. As you can see, we are still in 9th, so we managed to maintain that position against Lance Stroll. Verstappen ahead of Lando Norris and Carlos Sainz, who made his way up into 3rd place. Rounding the final corner now, Verstappen is going to cross the line to take the victory in this sprint race, as Lando Norris crosses to take 2nd place, Sainz in 3rd. Very close, closely followed by Alonso, Russell and Piastri, as Leclerc in 8th rounds up the final scoring positions as we finish in 9th place for this sprint.
And that's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé. So with the sprint concluded, join us next time for qualifying and of course the main event, this weekend's Formula One Grand Prix. We'll see you next time.
So the sprint is over and we finished in 9th place, as previously mentioned, and now we're preparing ourselves for the main qualifying sessions. So normal qualifying now, we're gonna have all the set of tires that we need for this race weekend. So anything after this is pretty much like a normal race weekend, as we're gonna prepare for Q1 now and hopefully once again make it into Q3, as we always do, as we always should. But yeah, I'm just, to be honest, I'm a bit like exhausted from all the talking. I mean, this is already what, 17 minutes into this video, and we still have another 20 minutes of footage left to commentate on. And yeah, that I could definitely like see myself reducing the number of sprint weekends in future seasons, as this is definitely going to turn out to be a very tiresome experience commentating on these sprint weekends, as for now we are actually no, we didn't even land a good lap time, as we are now at risk of getting knocked out in Q1, which is not what we want. So we're definitely out on a second run, and with 1 minute left on the clock we cross the line to begin our lap, and immediately going into turn 1 we gain a little bit of time there, but yeah, we gain a bit of time going into turn 1 and exiting turn 2. A pretty tricky corner that, as it's just like constant braking all the way up the hill and turning right, sorry, and yeah, very easy to lock up on the initial stages of braking. I think because of it being uphill, I don't think it's gonna be hard as like maybe say turn 10 in Bahrain, where it's a downhill braking and turning left at the same time. It's pretty tough when you think about it, but around 7 tenths were gained on that second run, and that should be good for us to make it into Q3, as we finish in 10th in Q1. So a decent start to our qualifying session, as once again Verstappen sets the fastest lap of 1:33.5. So you can see the difference between like a midfield car like ours and well, in this game anyway, a championship or a championship contender car, as or championship winning car. You can just say that at this point, because at the moment the Red Bull in our F1 universe is a pretty fast car compared to what it is currently in real life, as we have just finished with the Azerbaijan Grand Prix not too long ago. It's a Tuesday today. I'm doing this recording, and Piastri, an impressive race. Very crazy to think that he's only in his second year of F1 driving like that. Very calm, cool, collected driver is Oscar Piastri. As we round the final corner to end our first run, and I believe that was a quicker run compared to our Q1 lap, as we might be hit with a rainstorm, just a little bit of rain in 50 minutes. So say we make it into Q3, we will definitely have to run the intermediates, as we're gonna now begin our final flying lap of Q2. And just to go back on the Red Bulls, honestly, I feel like there is a chance. I lost a bit of hope when Monza came through with all these papaya rules and all that like stuff, where it doesn't matter who, like, both drivers apparently are the number one drivers in McLaren, and that, in my opinion, definitely ruins, or like at least slows down Lando's chances of winning the championship this year, because you don't get these chances every year. Like, you saw how dominant the Red Bulls were. They might find the problem and then just tweak it, and they're gonna be back to being a dominant car once again, which I hope doesn't happen, by the way. But yeah, regardless of that, I really hope Lando wins the championship this season. As we cross the line, can we make it into Q3? Unfortunately we can't, as we only finish in 12th place by only around 0.028 of a second, the gap. Crazy. Oh yeah, Arthur made it to Q2. I just noticed.
The Chinese Grand Prix then is upon us once again. It's a race that saw Michael Schumacher claim his final Formula One victory in 2006, as well as Red Bull's first win with Sebastian Vettel in 2009. There's no doubt there's plenty more drama to come here in Shanghai. We're here in the Yangtze River Delta today, home of the 16 corners that make up the Shanghai International Circuit. 54% of this 3.3-mile lap is taken at full throttle, and we'll be getting up to speeds of around 200 miles per hour with DRS assistance down the back straight, before the cars break into the tight hairpin at turn 14. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position. And starting next to them is George Russell. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Perez, Norris, Sainz, Fernando Alonso, Oscar Piastri, Gasly, the owner driver, Albon, Ricciardo, Stroll, Hamilton, Leclerc, Zhou, Ocon, Magnussen, Sargent, Hülkenberg, Tsunoda, and Valtteri Bottas begins the race from the back of the grid. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track where preparations are underway.
Alright, so a hard to medium strategy, trying to replicate our previous races where we had the softer compound tire as our second stint. Excuse me, very not professional from me. As our main goal is to get a good launch of the line. Now, we historically have a bad start on the hard tires, and so far I clearly haven't learned anything from our previous race starts when we were running the hard tires as our starting tire, if that makes any sense. As clearly, look at us just trying to get a temperature in. It's very hard to get these tires warmed up to the optimal operating temperatures. And as you can see in the corner right over there, the bottom right, we barely have any temperature in our fronts, and we're gonna hope that we get an okay launch off the line, and wait for our tires to heat up, warm up properly while we are racing, as we have 5 red lights. Verstappen from pole once again, it's lights on and away we go, as we have Russell, who gets a pretty poor start as he has Leclerc already alongside him already. Verstappen stays up into first place as we drop down into P15 alongside our teammate, who we haven't seen much of in these last few episodes, as we were always far ahead fighting for the point scoring positions, while he was out in the back not fighting for point scoring positions. But that is to be expected from a driver like our teammate, who is still a rookie, still young, still has not much experience behind the wheel of an F1 car. So we'll cut him some slack. Hopefully, if we decide to renew his contract for the next season, I'm gonna expect to see some, decent results here and there as time goes on, as we make our way back up into P12, nearing the end of lap 1, as Verstappen has built a pretty healthy gap to avoid any overtakes into turn 1. I saw a bit of debris going off, flying into the air, but I don't know if that was just a visual glitch or actually someone losing a front wing. But yeah, surprisingly, Alex Albon in the Williams is in 7th place, which is pretty impressive. It is pretty realistic, this game, as we have Alonso, who is currently ahead of us. Yeah, we made the move on, who was ahead of us? Hamilton, going into the hairpin at the end of the long back straight. But yeah, a pretty okay start for us, but if we want to score any points, we have to overtake Alonso, who is currently over a second ahead of us, but he wasn't a second ahead of us at the detection point, meaning we have DRS, and that should help us close in on him, as we'd make that gap drop down to 4/10 by the time we round the final corner. And as we round the final corner, we're gonna have DRS on the pit straight, which isn't as long as we would have liked, but at the same time Alonso has DRS on Pierre Gasly, who is only half a second up ahead of him. And little by little we're making our way closer to Fernando Alonso, and this time we have a genuine chance of overtaking him going into turn 1. Are we gonna try to make a move down the inside? No, we stay behind him and maybe try to make a move round the outside. Can we make the move? Yeah. Oh, come on. Yeah, we force our way into 10th place, as I don't think Alonso would have liked that, but he fights us going all the way around into once again I think this is turn 6, right? This is turn 6. We hang it around the outside, as we still struggling for traction at the exit of that corner, as Alonso is now behind us. Finally, as we make a move on lap 5 into the point scoring positions, as now the next car ahead of us is Pierre Gasly. We take a little bit of grass over there and a snap of oversteer for good measure, as we manage now to close down the gap once again to the car ahead of us, which is Pierre Gasly this time, as he is 7/10 and pulling away. Not anymore, he's not pulling away, he is now getting closer to us because we are closing in on him, going down the back straight. Are we going to make a move down the inside? We go into 9th place, as Pierre Gasly is switching back on us. He is still going to fight this going into the final corner, but we managed to out-traction them, even though we almost spun out going into the final corner, as we close the door on him going around the outside. He was thinking of a move over there, but we were already going onto the racing line, so he just backed out of it And yeah, into 9th place we go with Lando Norris, who hasn't had the best start to this season, I would say, compared to how it is in real life. I mean, did he start well this year in real life? I'm not so sure, as we have a car in the pits. We have Ferrari in the pits. This is our pit window, lap 10. As yes, we are being told to box this lap. We are up into 8th place, and we're going to be boxing for the medium tire. And we're going to look maybe a move down the inside of turn 2 on Alex Albon, but we couldn't manage to get the traction we needed to perform the overtake, as we get a huge snap of oversteer, and that invites Pierre Gasly to maybe look for a move around the outside, as we have to push a little bit harder, as that incident, not really an incident, but that move over there had us close to clipping. We did actually clip Alex Albon's rear wheel, as we have a fault with the DRS. We're being told to stay out, but at the moment this is our pit window, so we are, as our teammate is also coming in at the same time. Now, can we make it a good double stack over here, as we get a good turn in by the sounds of it, but we have issues on our front left, which is going to cause us to lose a lot of positions here and slow down our teammate, who is coming in also to service his car. And as flippin' hell, stop interrupting me as we make a move on the outside. As soon as we exit the pits, we are getting these medium tires worked up already, as we're gonna try to recover the fault from the pit crew, as our DRS is stuck open. Like, can these incidents not happen in races where I should be in the points? Like, it's actually pretty annoying, and I was actually very annoyed in this. Now, this is just me talking now. It's not me commentating. This is me talking. I was pretty frustrated, because I think I did both races at the same day. Oh, sorry, on the same day, not at the same day. Man, my English is terrible. On the same day as Pierre Gasly's engine just combusts right in front of us, and that puts us up into P11. But lap 17, our DRS is stuck open, meaning we're going to lose a lot of time in the corners, because we're not going to be able to efficiently get around these bends without a proper rear wing, as Ricardo manages to get close to us, as as you can see, like, that DRS flap being open is causing us a lot of issues with turn in. As you can see over there, we couldn't even turn in properly, and there's a chance that, yeah, look at that understeer, as Ricardo goes down the inside to overtake us, and now that puts us pretty much, I mean, we were already out of contention for the points as soon as we had that terrible pit stop. And yeah, a race to forget. Let's be honest over here, a race to forget for us, as we have yet another mechanical failure. Not a huge mechanical failure. This time it was only with the DRS flap being stuck open, and had we come into the pits to get that fixed, we would have lost more positions anyway. So if we were gonna try, at least with the DRS flap, we would get like huge amounts of speed going down the straights, but clearly it doesn't help us in the corners, as we have to lift over there. You heard that we had to lift, but anyway, yeah, final lap, Verstappen, who led pretty much every lap of this race, Piastri, who did good for himself, is now up into the podium positions, so he made his way up into third place, as Verstappen crosses the line to take victory in China and wins the Chinese Grand Prix, as Leclerc, who is in second place, followed closely by Oscar Piastri, who is in third, finish up the podium positions with Sainz in fourth, and Lando Norris is the final top 5 driver to cross the line, as we are now rounding the turn towards the the back straight with Ocon, who was close behind. Now thankfully we had that DRS flap open over there, or Ocon would have been another car to overtake us after our mechanical issue with the DRS flap. But we're gonna round the final corner and go another race without scoring any points, as we finish in 12th place.
Alright, race over. Take care of the car on the way in. It's another victory and a champion's performance from Max Verstappen.
And it's always good, Crofty, to get that momentum on your side, and it's really good for your confidence as well. The more confident you are, the further that can take you.
The drivers are en route to the podium as we speak. What a fantastic win for the Red Bull team. They've performed exceptionally today, keeping us firmly on the edge of our seats throughout the entirety of the race. Congratulations to everybody at the team. And with that, we wrap up another weekend of motorsport action. But with more races lined up, be sure to join us when we come back with more Formula One.
Alright, thank you guys so much for watching this episode till the end. Please leave a like and subscribe. If you haven't watched the previous episodes, then I would recommend going and watching those videos as well if you enjoyed this one. Follow me on Instagram if you haven't done so already. I'll be updating you guys on there for when the next videos are gonna be coming out. Thank you for watching once again, and have a nice day.